And let's get right into the guards after a quick word from FanDuel. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get in a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com/UCSS. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Jay, it is game 2 today. The guards dominated game 1. An incredible first inning explosion. Essentially shut the door on the Tigers. The bullpen once again lights out. But a different beast today with Tarik Skubal on the mound for Detroit. What are your expectations for this Guardians lineup against Skubal, who is going to be the AL Cy Young winner in a pivotal Game 2 of the playoffs?
Well, I'll start by going back to Game 1. It is, boy, I said this on Friday, too. This is a must-win. And I know that sounds ridiculous because it's Game 1 of a 5-game, but I really looked at it, Jason, as a must-win game. With Tarik Skubal going in Game 2 and looking at the way he pitched, not just in the regular season, but against Houston in his only playoff start, the stage was not too big for him. He went 6 terrific innings. Did get hit a little bit in that last inning with the long ball to left that luckily for him stayed in the park. They held on to win that game. My fear was if you don't win Game 1, you're staring at a potential sweep.
Yeah. Because
with Skubal going in Game 2 and then Games 3 and 4 going back to Detroit, it'd be a long uphill climb for the Guardians. I think I like the way Hinch managed this. Knowing you're going to pitch Skubal in Game 2, not panicking and saying we've got to get him right away in Game 1 on short rest. I like that he waited for Game 2 from their perspective, because here's the deal: if he wins today, and he is favored and expected to win, then it's a 3-game series with 2 in Detroit and the next 2 in Detroit. Mm-hmm. So I think Detroit is not panicking in their clubhouse. I think that's why Hinch went with the bullpen game. You saw how short that leash was. I was even shocked that he made the move when he did. I mean, just a couple hitters into the game, their starter was out, and it was a great move for them. But I do think that today's going to be tough. I think if the Guardians are going to win it, it's going to be in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, because I think Skubal's going to go 6. He's going to be just as difficult to hit today as he was for Houston. And, certainly not giving up on this game, but I think if they're going to win it, it's not going to be against Skubal. It's going to be against the bullpen late.
The most interesting thing about Game 1 to me is the fact that in Game 1 of a 1-0 game, A.J. Hinch pulled the infield in.
Stunning.
It blew. I've talked about it for 2 days. Zach Meisel's probably sick of me hearing.
No, you're not alone. It was confounding.
It was.
Why are you playing that like it's the 7th inning?
Because A.J. Hinch is telling you if the Guardians score 2 runs, we can't win.
Yeah,
that's what he's telling you.
It's exactly what he's telling you.
And that applies to games 2, 3. Like he's telling you, if the Guardians score 2 runs, we can't beat this bullpen.
But I know that you're saying this too. We don't have numbers on this because there's not a stat. It is the earliest that regular season or postseason I have ever seen a move like that. That move is reserved for the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning.
2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Top of the 1st inning in a 1-0 game, and he brings in the infield.
What are you doing? And look what happened.
But he's telling you, if that run from 3rd scores, we are not going to win this game. That's what the manager's telling you. That's how much fear and respect Detroit has for Cleveland's bullpen. And the Tigers know the Guardians better than anybody. They're division rivals.
Jay,
they know that team inside and out.
But I also think it's a lack of confidence in his lineup.
Oh, for sure.
That lineup's paper thin.
Who are you scared of in Detroit's lineup?
That's why I said give me the Tigers. Listen, Skubal's a good pitcher, man. Listen, he's not Randy Johnson. Look, you're only as good as the momentum. I said it on Friday. You're only as good as the momentum you bring in after Game 1. They got smoked in Game 1, and the Guardians did exactly what they were supposed to do. They came in and jumped all over them, put the runs on the board, and was like, you're done. Now, you better get your best performance from Skubal, because if he mess around and give up a couple of pitches and somebody hits a couple long balls, now you're looking around at this lineup saying, guess what? We can't come back from that, and I don't see no shadows. The shadows ain't there today, Jay.
Well,
they will be.
The sun isn't out, but it's going to be.
Hey, listen.
At game time, the sun will be out.
They better hope that sun comes out. They better hope the meteorologist is correct, because I'm going to tell you what. If the Guardians can come out and put the pressure back on them and say, look, if you telling me Skubal gives up a few runs, you don't think that dugout gonna be right? Are we done?
I do think, to your point about early in the game, if the Guardians get 1 or 2 off of him early, I think at that point they're going to get really wide-eyed in the Tiger dugout. I do. But, and who knows? It's so hard to predict. I disagree with your premise that, about the momentum thing. In baseball, momentum is the next day's starting pitcher. And because of that, I think the Tigers do come in with momentum. I know that it seems oxymoronic because the way game went.
They got their guy.
But they've got their guy. And having played this game my whole life and covered it my whole life, and from a personal standpoint, when I've been in series and you like the guy you've got on your on the mound, you're not even thinking about what happened in game 1.
No.
You might be if it's a closeout game where there's less wiggle room.
Yeah.
This isn't that. And they've got their guy, and we'll see what happens.
Their guys on the mound, they still got to hit the ball. Their guys, their guy on the mound does not help them being a team that's a net.
No, you got to score to win.
You got to score.
And that's why I think I told you guys, the first inning was the most important to me with Tanner Bybee. Mm-hmm. Just don't get hit early.
And
out of the
first. He
had
a high pitch count that first inning.
Yeah, I don't even care about pitch count because he's not going to be around long enough for the pitch count to matter.
No, I know, but
you get 2 turns with this staff, with where the Guardians are at right now, and Bybee was terrific.
Unreal.
He was terrific, but you still don't have the trust and faith in him that you would a bona fide number. Detroit has way more faith in Skubal than the Guardians have
100%.
in Tanner Bybee.
100%.
So you get 2 turns through the order.
Yeah.
And that's really about it. Even though they don't have a feared lineup, you still don't want these guys getting a third look at him.
How good was Cade Smith, by the way?
Oh, Cade Smith is going to be the Andrew Miller of this postseason.
Is a closer for probably 25 teams.
Any team
Maybe
without
more.
Emmanuel Clase.
Yeah, I mean, he is that good. And this, I love what you said about the Andrew Miller. This team, the way the bullpen is, people keep saying, well, it's 2016 all over again. No, it's 2016 on steroids.
Yes.
In 2016, you had to have a lead after 7. Here, you get to the 5th inning, Cade Smith can give you multiple innings if he had to.
Yeah. 2016 had 2 relievers, Andrew Miller and Cody Allen. I forgot his name for a second.
Yeah,
That was it. That's all they had. And Corey Kluber. They had 1 starter and 2 relievers.
Right.
And they made it to the World Series. Now they have 1 starter and 4 relievers.
That's right.
So who do you,
good luck.
So who do you like better? Who you got more faith in? Skubal or the Guardians bullpen?
Guardians bullpen.
Whatever it is.
However,
that's easy money.
However, but look at it this way: the Guardians bullpen, if things are going well, will pitch 4 innings. Skubal will give you 6, and could give you 7.
Yeah, you answered that faster than I did. I don't know. I don't know that I'd be that quick on that.
Well, I'm just doing it on volume.
Yeah.
If the Guardians bullpen pitches more than 4 innings, we've got a problem.
Well, game 1 was absolutely perfect for how the Guardians have to approach this entire postseason. Get an early lead and get to the bullpen as fast as you can.
As quickly as possible.
And they had such a big lead that guys like Cade Smith, Kyle Manzardo, guys who've never been in the playoffs before, had a pressure-free debut where they could come in. It's not a high-leverage situation.
Right away,
Quan right away off the wall.
I mean, I was saying in August and September, this team can't make a World Series run if Quan doesn't become all-star Quan.
And he looks like Quan.
He looks like Quan.
Came in,
brilliant
set the
move
table,
setting him down.
Set the table, came in. Everybody else was more relaxed. Now you got ducks on the pond, and now you're rolling. I'm telling you, they should. The goal for the Tigers should not be able to let the Guardians see anything good happen. And everything good happened. You take a look at Quan. He got off the bump. You take a look at Fry. You take a look at all these other dudes, some of the lesser guys getting involved. And you got your younger guys, some at bats up there. So
it all worked out.
So it all worked out. Now, look, Detroit, you got your best guy on the mound. Shout out to you. I hope it works out.
How good was that crowd, too?
Oh, yeah.
Electric.
I mean, it
was
felt
awesome.
like
Were
a
you
World
there?
Series
Were you
crowd.
there?
I wasn't. I wish I was watching the whole thing on a phone screen.
Oh, wow.
Driving a boat from Geneva to Sandusky.
First world
Otherwise,
problems, Jay.
I would have been there.
Problems.
Yeah,
I will be there today, by the way.
Are you going?
Yeah, you'll
Good.
see me.
Jay,
I'll
let me
be
ask-
behind home plate screaming like
Let me ask you a
crazy.
question real quick, and we're going to talk plenty of Guardians. What makes Skubal, for people who haven't watched the Tigers a ton, and specifically him? He's going to win the AL Cy Young. He won the AL pitching Triple Crown. What makes him so good and effective as a pitcher?
I'll give my quick one. In full disclosure, I've seen him pitch probably only 5 or 6 times this year. I tried to watch him a time or two, not thinking that we would match up with him.
Right.
Early on in June, I'm like, okay, I got to check out the hype.
Right.
I've seen him pitch against the Guardians. To me, everything looks like a strike. So his pitches that end up out of the zone, and I think I read, I hate repeating this because I can't remember it, but I believe he has the highest swing and miss rate on balls out of the strike zone. And I think guys are hitting 125 on those pitches. So what that tells me is he's able to deceive and make every single pitch look like it's going to finish in the strike zone.
He's very good at tunneling.
Tunneling is the term.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every pitch looks the same, and then the break at the end. He's got a 5-pitch mix, knuckle curve a little bit, fastball, slider, change, sinker. You're the baseball guy. I think you have to. He's actually. I was just looking it up real quick. I want to make sure I was right. He's given up more home runs on changeups than anything else.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I think you just have to sit fastball with him.
I do too. My approach would be that.
Just sit, and it felt like the Guardians hitters in Game 1. Now again, totally different approach, bullpen game versus an ace, a Cy Young winner. But they wanted to get early.
They were aggressive.
They were very, and I would be the same way with Skubal.
I would think
sit fastball early in the count, wait for a fastball, and take your chances with it.
I would guess that would be the approach. That's the way I would approach it, because his stuff is around the plate, and his stuff that is off the plate breaks so hard and so late. That's why a lot of guys chase at those pitches that are outside the zone. When you're watching today, the one thing I'm going to be looking for, look for which pitches the Guardians spit on. Like, what are they? Are they sliders? Are they, because pitch recognition is key with a guy like this, because his tunneling is absolutely consistent. So if the Guardians, and that's why I hope there isn't some and there aren't shadows, because we talked on Friday about the challenge of the ball coming from the darkness or from the light and going dark, and it's really, really difficult for a hitter to decipher what pitch it is. You can't pick up spin. And if they're spitting on pitches that are sliders and sinkers that are just off, then that's going to tell me that they're going to take a little more cautious approach, and they might not be as aggressive as they were in Game 1. But I still, as a hitter, I want to go down swinging. And I know his off-the-plate stuff is very difficult to hit.
Yeah.
They're going to have to make those split-second decisions. Can I put the bat on this ball? And if they can't, spit on the pitch and live to see another one.
Yeah.
But he's really good. He's really, really good.
So a couple things on this. It's really interesting. Zach Meisel and our writer in Detroit did a great story on this. Matthew Boyd and Tarik Skubal, it's so wild that they're matched up.
They're good friends.
They're great friends.
Yeah.
And Boyd was like a mentor to Skubal when they were in Detroit.
Yeah.
And now, who would have ever guessed, here they are facing each other in
especially
a playoff
this
game.
year.
Yeah.
The way the Tigers were going. Now, not only are they best friends, they've got a lot of similarities. Obviously, they're both lefties. They've got a Seattle tie. Skubal pitched at the University of Seattle. They have both had Tommy John, and they have both had flexor tendon surgery.
Yeah.
Tommy John came for Skubal when he was at Seattle. It came obviously for Boyd later in his career. Skubal was a mentor Boyd was a mentor to Skubal when they were both in Detroit, and he came up early. He invited him to his first major league dinner. They became friends, and they would work out together in Seattle in the offseason. They were very, very close. But what's interesting was, when it seemed like Skubal had found his footing and was fast-tracking to become Cy Young, Boyd was dealing with what he thought could be a career-ending injury with Tommy John. But because Skubal had already gone through it, then Skubal, the tables were flipped, sort of mentored and guided Boyd through the pitfalls that are Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic matchup. They're very, very close friends. They're both pit bulls. They're very, very competitive. So you could see a game that's scoreless into the 5th or 6th inning. It wouldn't surprise me.
That would benefit Cleveland.
It would absolutely.
It may not sound like it, but if you are tied, as long as you can against Tarik Skubal until you get him out of the game.
4th inning is good.
Just stay tied until you can get him out of the game. And one other thing that's really interesting about Skubal, and I was thinking about this in relation to Tanner Bybee, it's funny, Detroit had 3 top pitching prospects all coming up through the system at the same time. And everybody was really excited to see Casey Mize,
Right.
Matt Manning, and Tarik Skubal.
Yeah.
No one cares about Casey Mize. He's not even on the roster anymore.
Nope.
Matt Manning's been in AAA most of the year. Skubal was number 3. He was a clear third on that list. He's now their number 1.
He was a 9th round or 10th round pick.
But look
something
at
like
Cleveland. It was always Daniel Espino and then Gavin Williams and then Tanner Bybee.
Yeah.
Bybee
What's
was
happened?
always third on that
That's
list.
funny.
And now he's the number 1.
The one thing you can't predict is pitching prospects.
Yeah.
You can't.
Tanner
You don't know.
Tanner told me after the game the other day, Daniel Espino was the best pitcher he's ever seen, period.
Really?
Period. Bar none.
What a shame.
But he just can't stay
Can't
healthy.
stay. What a shame.
Yeah.
I mean, really, when you look at the pitching luck that the Guardians have had over the last couple of years, you can go back a decade.
Yeah.
They've had critical injuries at the worst time. But this year and last, they played basically the bulk of both seasons without their 1 and 2.
I mean, Shane Bieber was supposed to be the starter Saturday. Tristan McKenzie is supposed to be going today. Think about where this team would be with. Shane Bieber was building a crib for his incoming child, for his child that's coming. He talked to Zach the other day in the club. I hadn't seen Shane since spring training, and he was back in the clubhouse for this postseason run, and he talked to Zach about just how he's dealing with everything, how hard this is, that he wants
What
to be
did he
out
say?
there.
It's got to be.
He's got FOMO. He's got
Sure.
major FOMO about
How
what's
could you
going on
not?
right now. Yeah, he's preparing for the birth of his child and building a crib instead of preparing for game 1 of a playoff series.
We've said this, and I don't want to look too much at other series because you're in a dogfight. You got to win the series that you're in currently. But having watched everybody else, that this is the year.
It's wide
There
open.
is not that juggernaut that you absolutely shake in your cleats to face.
I absolutely believe they've not easily, it's never easy. They have a great chance to win the World Series this year.
agree.
It sounds nuts to say that.
I know it does.
I absolutely believe it.
What a diversion it would be. How ironic is this? It was 80 degrees yesterday. The Brown season is over, and the Guardians are still
Yep,
going,
I tweeted that yesterday. The Brown season ended before the Guardian season.
which is that's unthinkable
Yep.
to me. It's unthinkable.
Mike dropped a mind-blowing question on me this morning. I'll save it
No,
for
we're going to do it tomorrow.
Okay.
We're going to do it tomorrow.
It just, I almost dropped my phone.
I'll get Jay's answer because
Wow,
you're not on the
it
show
was
tomorrow.
that good?
It was great.
We're going to do it tomorrow. We
Wow.
have too much stuff to get to today, but I'll get your answer to it, Jay, so we
Okay.
can add it to the conversation we get tomorrow.